Greetings and good health to all of us. Today we will discuss a topic that is perhaps rarely talked about openly, especially in old age. But precisely because of that, this topic becomes important and needs to be conveyed. The title of this video might surprise you. Doctors warn, if you don't have sex in old age, this will happen to you. But wait, this is not just about physical relationships. It's about overall health. Because sexual activity in any form is not just for young people, but can also be an important sign of the emotional and physical health of the elderly. Before continuing, I want to ask you, do you think sexual life is still important at the age of 60, 70, even 80 and above? Please write in the comments section. No need for details, just write. Agree if you feel this is still important, or hesitant if you still have questions about it. Why was this video made? Because more and more medical research actually suggests that the elderly should not underestimate emotional and intimacy needs. Not because we are pursuing pleasure alone, but because our bodies and souls still need affection, hugs, closeness, and warmth. And yes, please sit back, prepare your warm water or favorite tea. And let's discuss one by one what actually happens to our bodies and minds. If in old age, we no longer have a sexual life at all, both physically and emotionally. We start with the first part. One of the most common misconceptions in society is the assumption that sexuality belongs only to young people. That after entering the age of 60 and above, someone seems to no longer have a need for intimacy or closeness. In fact, according to the World Health Organization (WHO), sexuality is part of overall human health regardless of age. So, when an elderly person still has a desire to be close to their partner, it is not something to be ashamed of or inappropriate. On the contrary, it can be a sign that the body and hormones are still active, the mind is still healthy, and the emotional relationship is still maintained. Some geriatric doctors even say that a healthy sexual life in old age can be an indicator that someone remains active, is not depressed, and has a good quality of life. We certainly know that as we age, many changes occur in the body. For example, the production of estrogen hormone in women and testosterone in men begins to decrease. However, this does not mean that intimate life must end. What changes is the way, the rhythm, and the form of expression. For example, the intensity may decrease, but touch, hugs, or even intimate conversations can be a deeper form of expressing love than in youth. And this is what we need to understand together. Being elderly does not mean stopping loving or being loved. Sexuality is not just about the physical, but also about the relationship of the heart, closeness, and mutual respect. Therefore, when the elderly feel they still want to be close to their partner, it should not be laughed at, should not be held back, and does not need to be hidden. In fact, this is one of the signs that our soul is still alive and connected to the person we love. What can actually happen if an elderly person completely stops having an intimate life, both physically and emotionally? Every change in our body in old age is certainly natural and acceptable. But if that change occurs because we limit ourselves too much or even close ourselves off from things that are actually still healthy and natural, then we need to be careful. When an elderly person no longer has a sexual life in any form, there is no closeness, no touch, not even loving communication, then slowly some negative impacts can occur. Let's discuss them one by one. 1. Decline in mental health. The absence of intimacy or emotional closeness for a long time can cause feelings of loneliness, feeling unwanted, or loss of self-confidence. This can trigger mild depression to a decrease in zest for life. Some elderly people who were previously cheerful can suddenly become quiet, moody, or easily irritated. Not because their physical body is sick, but because their soul longs for warmth and attention. 2. Circulation and muscle problems. Did you know that light sexual activity including hugs, kisses, and touch can improve blood circulation and maintain muscle strength? When the body is no longer active in this regard, slowly there is a decrease in blood flow, joint stiffness, and weakened muscles. 3. Decreased immunity. Research shows that people who live a healthy and loving sexual life tend to have a stronger immune system. When that closeness is gone, immunity can also decrease. The elderly become more susceptible to flu, infections, or feel prolonged fatigue. 4. Risk of heart problems and blood pressure. Healthy sexual relationships have been proven to lower blood pressure and keep heart rate stable. Conversely, when there is no such activity and emotional stress continues to accumulate, the risk of hypertension and heart disorders can increase. 5. Loss of connection with a partner. And what happens most often but is rarely realized is that the partner feels distant. When there is no more touch, hugs, or affectionate communication, the relationship can feel flat. This not only affects emotions, but can also make partners strangers to each other. Now I want to ask you, have you ever felt life become empty or cold after losing closeness with your partner? Please tell us briefly in the comments section. Perhaps your experience can be a lesson for others. Remember, this is not about shame or not, but about maintaining overall health from body, heart to relationships. Then, what do doctors and scientists think about this? What are the medically proven benefits of sexual activity in the elderly? If in the past the sexuality of the elderly was considered taboo to discuss, now many doctors and researchers actually recommend that this topic be discussed honestly. Because it turns out that the benefits of intimate activity in old age are not just personal comfort. There are scientific facts that support that both physical and emotional intimacy have a big impact on the health of the elderly. Here are some benefits supported by research. 1. Strengthens the immune system. A study from Wilkes University, United States found that elderly people who are still sexually active have higher levels of certain antibodies. This means their bodies are more ready to fight off minor illnesses such as flu and minor infections. 2. Lowers blood pressure and keeps the heart healthy. Research published in the American Journal of Cardiology shows that healthy sexual activity can lower systolic blood pressure, which is the pressure when the heart pumps blood. The effect is similar to light exercise, but more enjoyable. 3. Improves sleep quality. After healthy and loving intimate activity, the body releases oxytocin and endorphin hormones that make the body more relaxed and calmer. This is very helpful for elderly people who often experience insomnia or restless sleep. 4. Maintains brain function and memory. In a study conducted in England, researchers found that elderly people who maintain an intimate life have better cognitive function and memory. They also experience fewer early symptoms of dementia. 5. Increases happiness and reduces stress. When two people love each other and express affection in a healthy way, the body releases hormones like dopamine and serotonin. These hormones make us feel happier, more peaceful, and more enthusiastic about living our day. So, not only is it allowed, but it is also medically proven that healthy intimate activity can help seniors live longer and have a better quality of life. However, of course, this intimate activity does not have to mean heavy or strenuous physical relations. That brings us to the next part. Does sex always have to mean physical relations? Or are there other forms of intimacy that are just as healthy and even more meaningful? Many of us might immediately think that sex means only physical relations. In fact, in old age, the meaning of intimacy can be much broader, softer, and even deeper. The question is, does sex in old age always have to mean physical relations? The answer is no. Sexuality is about the sovereignty of two souls. In youth, perhaps physical strength and passion are primary. But as we age, comfort, closeness, and trust become much more important. Therefore, senior sexuality can be expressed in simpler but more meaningful forms. For example, holding hands while sitting together, hugging before sleep, touching a partner's cheek or hair while talking softly, listening attentively to a partner's story, praising and saying, "I love you sincerely." All of that is part of healthy sexuality. Because what is sought is not just activity, but an emotional connection that brings peace to the heart and makes the body feel appreciated. Sex in old age is more like loving communication than just physical activity. According to Dr. Linda DeFillers, a clinical psychologist specializing in senior sexuality, the main key in senior intimate relationships is not intensity, but quality and emotional intimacy. In other words, a warm hug in the morning can be just as valuable as physical relations. It can even be more meaningful and strengthen understanding over decades. But make no mistake, even if it's not always physical relations, it is still important for couples to be open with each other about needs and comfort. Healthy communication will help avoid awkwardness, maintain a sense of being valued, increase self-confidence, and most importantly, strengthen the relationship that has been built for years. Now I want to invite you to share. Do you feel closer to your partner through simple touch or through warm conversation? Please write in the comments because your experience can inspire other couples watching this video. In the next part, we will discuss why some seniors start losing desire or are even afraid to live an intimate life. Is that normal, or is there something to be aware of? Loss of sexual desire in old age is a problem that is often overlooked or even ignored by many people. However, this is a very important issue to discuss because it can affect overall quality of life. But why does sexual desire often decrease with age? Let's review some common causes. 1. Hormonal changes with age. One of the main factors affecting sexual desire in old age is hormonal changes in women. Especially after menopause, estrogen levels drop drastically, which can cause vaginal dryness and decreased sexual desire. Meanwhile, in men, decreased testosterone levels also affect sexual drive and erectile function. These changes are natural, but can still reduce the quality of sexual life. 2. Physical health problems and medications. Certain medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, and thyroid disorders can worsen sexual desire. In addition, many elderly people take medication for chronic diseases which also have side effects that reduce sexual desire. Medications such as antidepressants, high blood pressure medication, and tranquilizers often affect sexual function and reduce the desire for intimacy. 3. Emotional and psychological conditions. Emotional and psychological factors also play a significant role in sexual desire. Elderly people who feel anxious, stressed, or even depressed can experience a decrease in sexual desire. In addition, feelings of insecurity due to body changes or a decline in physical appearance can make a person feel no longer attractive, which ultimately reduces the desire for intimacy. Those who feel unappreciated or have poor communication with their partner often lose sexual desire due to feeling emotionally disconnected. 4. Unmaintained relationships. When couples feel there is no longer intimacy or a strong emotional connection, sexual desire can fade. The loss of emotional connection can be caused by various factors such as lack of communication or unresolved conflicts. When a relationship feels more like roommates than a loving couple, sexual desire can be significantly reduced. 5. Fear or anxiety about sexual activity. As they age, many elderly people feel anxious about their sexual life. They may be afraid of getting hurt, feel no longer capable of physical intimacy, or even feel embarrassed. This fear can limit the desire for sex, even though their bodies are actually still capable of it. Don't forget, many elderly people also feel uncomfortable discussing this topic, which prevents them from seeking help or available solutions. 6. Trauma or past memories. Sometimes emotional trauma or bad memories of past sexual experiences can affect sexual desire. For example, a couple who has lost a loved one or had a previous bad experience may find it difficult to open up or feel comfortable in intimate relationships. Solutions that can be found. Loss of sexual desire in old age is not inevitable. There are many medical and alternative solutions that can help restore desire and the quality of sexual life in old age, which we will discuss further in Section 7. Now I want to hear your opinion. Do you feel you are experiencing a decrease in sexual desire in old age, or perhaps you have found a way to overcome it? Share your experiences in the comments section because we can learn from and support each other. In the next section, we will discuss medical and alternative solutions that can help restore sexual desire. After understanding some of the reasons why sexual desire can decrease in old age, it is now time to look at the available solutions to overcome this problem. There are many ways to restore intimacy and improve the quality of sexual life for the elderly, both through medical treatment and natural alternatives. Let's discuss some solutions that can help. 1. Medical treatment. Medications to overcome decreased sexual desire. Some elderly people may require medical treatment to overcome decreased sexual desire, especially that caused by hormonal changes or certain medical conditions. Women. Estrogen therapy can be used to treat vaginal dryness due to menopause, which often interferes with sexual intercourse. Medications such as estrogen cream or pills can help increase moisture and comfort during intimacy. Men. Testosterone therapy can be given if a man's testosterone levels decrease. Giving testosterone can increase sexual desire and improve erectile function in some men suffering from hypogonadism. Erectile dysfunction medication. For men who experience erectile dysfunction, medications such as sildenafil, Viagra, tadalafil, Cialis, and vardenafil, Levitra can help improve blood flow to the penis and support erectile function. However, it is very important to consult a doctor before taking these medications as there can be side effects or interactions with other medications. 2. Alternative therapies and a healthy lifestyle. In addition to medical treatment, there are various natural alternatives that can help increase sexual desire in the elderly. These natural approaches are very popular because they provide a gentler solution without risky side effects. The first natural approach. Herbal remedies. Several herbal remedies are known to help increase sexual desire and improve the quality of sexual life in the elderly. Here are some examples. Ginseng is known to have a positive effect on increasing energy and sexual vitality. Ginkgo biloba can help improve blood flow and enhance sexual function. Maca, a plant from Peru that is believed to help increase libido. The second natural approach. Nutrition and supplements. Healthy food and certain supplements can also support sexual health in the elderly. Avocados are rich in healthy fats that support blood circulation. Fatty fish such as salmon and sardines are rich in omega-3, which helps blood circulation and heart health, directly related to sexual function. Vitamin D is known to increase testosterone levels, which are important for male sexual desire. The third natural approach. Regular exercise. Exercise has great benefits for improving blood circulation and overall body endurance. Some types of exercise such as walking, yoga, and light aerobics can help increase blood flow to sexual organs, reduce stress and anxiety, and increase body energy and stamina. The fourth natural approach. Kegel exercises. For women, Kegel exercises can strengthen the pelvic floor muscles and improve control during sexual intercourse. These exercises can help prevent urinary incontinence and also increase sexual satisfaction. Let's continue discussing the third solution that can help, which is counseling and psychotherapy. If sexual problems are related to emotional or psychological factors, therapy can be a very effective solution. Couple counseling to improve communication and address relationship problems. Sex therapy with a professional to address past trauma, anxiety, or other psychological problems. Do these solutions work? Most elderly people who try medical or natural alternative treatments can feel an improvement in their sexual quality. Of course, everyone is different and there is no single solution that works for everyone. However, it is important to find a solution that suits personal needs and consult with a competent medical professional. Now I want to hear your opinion. Have you or your partner ever tried one of these solutions? What do you think is most effective? Share your experiences or questions in the comments section because we can all learn from each other's experiences. Many myths circulate about sexual life in old age. Some people think that the older a person is, the less likely they are to enjoy a healthy sexual life. But is that true? Let's look at some common myths and the actual facts behind them. Myth 1. Elderly sexuality no longer exists. The first myth we often hear is that sexuality simply disappears with age. Many people assume that upon entering old age, sexual desire automatically decreases and sexual life is no longer relevant. Fact: elderly sexuality is not a myth. Although physical and hormonal changes can affect sexual desire, many elderly people remain sexually active and are happy with their sexual lives. A decrease in sexual desire can indeed occur, but with the right approach and medical treatment, sexual desire can still be present. Myth 2. Seniors are no longer capable of sexual intercourse. Many people think that seniors are no longer physically capable of sexual intercourse. This is often caused by the natural decline in physical function with age, such as decreased stamina or erectile dysfunction in men. Fact: many seniors are still capable of having good sexual relations. Although there is a decline in physical function, it does not mean that there is no longer a possibility of having sexual intercourse. With the right approach and more comfortable positions, seniors can still enjoy intimacy with their partners. Myth 3. Seniors no longer need sex because there is no possibility of pregnancy. Some people assume that seniors no longer need a sexual life because pregnancy is not possible. However, this is a mistaken assumption. Fact: sexuality is not just about pregnancy, but about emotional health, intimate relationships, and intimacy. For many senior couples, sexual relations still have a very important emotional value for maintaining closeness and mental health. Myth 4. The sexual life of seniors has no health benefits. There is an assumption that in old age, there are no longer any health benefits that can be obtained from a sexual life. Fact: healthy sexuality in old age actually has many benefits, including improving blood circulation and heart health, helping to reduce stress, and improving sleep quality, increasing feelings of happiness and self-confidence, reducing pain, especially for women who experience joint pain. Myth 5. Seniors no longer have sexual desire. There are many myths about the decline in sexual desire in seniors, and one of them is the assumption that there is no longer a desire for sexual intercourse after a certain age. Fact: sexuality in old age is highly dependent on a person's physical and mental condition. If sexual desire decreases, it can be caused by illness or stress. But it does not mean that sexual desire simply disappears. With the right support, many seniors can regain their sexual desire. Myth 6. Senior sexuality is not appropriate to talk about. Many people feel awkward or embarrassed to talk about this topic among seniors. There is an assumption that sexuality is not appropriate to talk about after someone enters old age. Fact: sexuality is a natural part of human life, no matter the age. The more open we are about this topic, the more we can reduce stigma and help seniors maintain a healthy sexual life. Main fact: senior sexuality can be enjoyed well. Now we know that there are many myths circulating about sexuality in old age. However, the reality is that many seniors still enjoy an active and satisfying sexual life. If you or your partner feel that your sexual desire is decreasing, it is important to talk about it together and find solutions that are appropriate for each person's condition. Now I want to know your opinion. Have you ever heard these myths? Share your opinion or experience in the comments column. After knowing various solutions and facts about the sexual life of seniors, now we will discuss practical ways you can do to maintain a healthy and satisfying sexual life in old age. 1. Maintain your physical health. Physical health is the main key to maintaining a healthy sexual life. Although we are getting older, our bodies can still function well if we take care of them properly. Regular exercise. Light exercise such as walking, cycling, or yoga is very beneficial for improving blood circulation and maintaining stamina. Kegel exercises can help strengthen the pelvic floor muscles, which play an important role in sexual function, especially for women. Eat a balanced diet. Consume nutritious foods that support sexual health, such as foods rich in omega-3, fatty fish, vitamin enums, and antioxidants, fruits and vegetables. Avoid foods that can affect hormone levels or worsen health conditions, such as foods high in sugar and saturated fat. Get enough sleep. Getting enough sleep can help the body produce the hormones needed for a healthy sex life. Good sleep quality is directly related to energy and sexual desire. 2. Maintain open communication with your partner. Honest and open communication with your partner is very important in maintaining intimacy in old age. Sometimes sexual problems can be caused by awkwardness or uncertainty in talking about each other's sexual needs. Discuss your preferences and needs. Don't be afraid to talk about what you like and what you are uncomfortable with. Partners who understand each other will find it easier to find ways to improve their intimacy. Stay romantic. Don't forget the physical and romantic touch that keeps the relationship fun. Kissing, hugging, or simply holding hands can help maintain the emotional bond. 3. Create an environment that supports intimacy. A healthy sex life does not only depend on physical health and communication, but also on an environment that supports intimacy. Create a comfortable atmosphere. Make sure your bedroom is clean, comfortable, and free from distractions. Create a supportive atmosphere with soft lighting, calming music, or pleasant aromatherapy. Pay attention to mental health. Reduce stress with calming activities such as meditation, reading, or vacationing with your partner. Managing anxiety is also very important so that you and your partner can feel relaxed and enjoy moments together. 4. Try alternatives to increase intimacy. If you or your partner experience certain difficulties in your sex life, don't hesitate to try alternatives that can help. Use lubricant. For women who experience vaginal dryness due to menopause, using water-based lubricant can be very helpful. This will make the relationship more comfortable and enjoyable. Slowly and understand body limitations. No need to rush. Pay attention to the desires of your body and your partner. Intimacy does not always mean sexual intercourse, but can also mean sharing moments of warmth and attention. 5. Consult a doctor or sex therapist. If you feel there is a problem hindering your sex life, don't hesitate to seek professional help. Medical consultation. If there are problems such as erectile dysfunction, vaginal dryness, or other medical conditions that affect your sex life, consulting a doctor is a wise first step. Hormone therapy or medication can help, but it is important to get a prescription that is appropriate for your body's condition. Sex therapy. If the problem is more on the emotional or psychological aspect, sex therapy can help you and your partner overcome the problem with a more empathetic approach. Now I want to know from you, what is the first step you will try to maintain a healthy sex life? Are there any tips or suggestions from your experience that you would like to share? Let's discuss in the comments section. We have reached the end of this video. Hopefully what we have discussed can provide information and inspiration for you to maintain a healthy sex life. Although we are getting older, intimacy is a right for all ages. Intimacy is not just about sexual relationships, but also about the emotional closeness we build with our partners. No matter how old we are, we all deserve to feel happiness, love, and passion in our lives. If you feel that your sex life is starting to decline, remember that there are many ways to maintain the quality of your relationship and create intimacy with your partner. Start with open communication, maintaining physical and mental health, and seek appropriate medical solutions if needed. Lastly, I want to remind you that there is no age limit to enjoying intimacy. Don't hesitate to continue taking care of yourself, maintaining your relationship with your partner, and striving to stay positive. A healthy sex life not only benefits the body but also our emotional health and overall happiness. Don't forget to like this video if you found this content helpful and gained new insights. Subscribe to our channel so you don't miss other interesting videos. Write your comments or questions below. We would love to hear them. Thank you for watching, and may you always be healthy, happy, and full of love.